Greetings, my relatives. This is Tony Gonzales, and welcome to another program, Eagle and Condor, here in San Francisco. And today we have a special program, having invited the president of the Intertribal Friendship House in Oakland, President Marie Hernandez, whom we will be talking to in the course of this half-hour program. And of course, the other half of the program hopefully will show a video, as always, to emphasize the topics that we're covering. And indeed, my relatives, I want to extend my hand in friendship and acknowledgement of the indigenous peoples of this land, particularly here in the Bay Area, San Francisco proper, of which once was called Ilamu, and that be acknowledgement of the Moekma Ohlone peoples of this land, and the Chicheños as well, up across the bay, and the struggle that they, as many of us, are involved with them on protection of sacred sites and the shell mounds, such as in the Berkeley area. And my relatives, with this program, I want to also give an acknowledgement of a good friend of mine and in the community in Fresno, in the San Joaquin Valley, of David Garcia, who passed away on September 9, and in loving memory, indeed, and respects to his family. I knew him as a young boy growing up in the neighborhood, and having a hard time like many of us, but he was doing the best that he could. And also, my relatives, I want to give a shout out to the organizers who brought the attention of the children who are being held, incarcerated, imprisoned, picked up, separated by the ICE Oregon Department, separating the children from their parents. And by the way, there are over 55,000 men, women, and children incarcerated in many of these camps, of which 3,000 are children and minorities. Many are sick. Several have died already, and the possibility of a illness breaking out is very possible. So and that's just the half of that. But indeed, as we all know, the history here in the United States and North America, the separation of Indian families, men and women, particularly here in California, where the separation, the killing of Indian peoples became very specialized. But certainly separating kids from parents was the first step of what they thought was to assimilate. And so also I wanted to say that the the run for salmon that is underway now as I speak, organized by the Chief Colleen Sisk in coordination with the Karina Gould and the Shell Mound movement, and ceremony that was held there in Seguridad. What was that? Friday, last Friday, to begin the walk and run from that area all the way up to the McCloud Lake, or the McCloud River, I believe it is, 300 miles, culminating on September the 29th. So we extend many of our thoughts and prayers for everyone that's putting their time in to make this a reality, bringing attention to many of the environmental issues up there, including the raising of a dam up there in Shasta area, bringing attention which would stop the migration, the flow of the salmon, which is a big effort right now underway to bring that stock back, and getting some help and support from Maori people. If you can imagine that, the connection in New Zealand. And so, which brings me up to a very important point. And before I do introduce our guest, Ms. Marie Hernandez, and that is the bills that are on the table of Governor Newsom. Very important, very significant. One of which right now is Senate Bill 1, which we encourage and support Chief Colleen Sisk calling on the governor to sign this important bill. Otherwise, if you reject the bill, then in this case you're siding with President Trump and his insanity and disregard for the indicators, including the sciences, that tell us where we at. Plus, it would be detrimental overall to the environment and many of the sacred sites. So, Governor Newsom, please sign SB 1. And now, my relatives, we will have Bismarck Delgado with calendar announcements of events shortly. But here I'd like to introduce Marie Hernandez. Thank you and welcome, and for your patience as well. My introduction's sometimes long. But Marie, my relatives, is the president or chairwoman of the Intertribal Friendship House in Oakland, which has somewhat of a national historic identity of sort. The infamous era of Indian relocation that was occurring in the 1940s, 50s,
55, yeah,
mid 50s, and on like that, which was a big effort to remove Indian peoples from their homelands, away from their homelands. And of course, the extractive industries is somewhat involved in that whole scenario, to enter those lands and plunder the national, what we call national sacrifice areas, as they're called, and also with federal promises at that time of education,
that's right,
vocational programming, and housing, and none of that came to a reality, right, Marie? And in this instance, the Intertribal Friendship House in Oakland has been very catalytic, very significant, important in holding the culture of many of those Indian peoples that were relocated to the Bay Area. And I somewhat, if I may, regard even the Indian cultural centers and intertribal friendship homes or centers across the country, much like in the African community, where the church many times and church activities play an important role in the African community. So too has the Intertribal Friendship House, such as yours. So tell us how has it been coming? I understand there's a 64-year anniversary coming up.
Yes, that's right. And just want to introduce myself as Marie Hernandez. I am a member of the Hoopa tribe. I'm also Yakama Sioux, Yankton Sioux, Yakama, and part of the Mini-Goat Dene tribes. And I've been a board chairwoman at the Intertribal Friendship House for the past 10 years. My grandparents actually relocated here from my grandma from Washington and my grandfather from Arizona, so they met at the Intertribal Friendship House. And so this place is very important to me, and I feel like without this place and that community at that time, I wouldn't be here. And we do have our 64th annual anniversary art gala, and it's a Native-inspired reception and dinner. We'll have Native foods. We will have be celebrating 64 years of community, where when Natives were relocated here, there were no spaces for them to express their culture, have Native foods, interact with other Native families. So it was very difficult time for a lot of families to move to the urban area where it was very different for them. So Intertribal Friendship House was a place where they can come together and reconnect and continue with their traditions in an urban setting.
Mm-hmm. And can you go into more detail on the foods? Is there
Yes.
particulars and who might be the chef?
Oh yes, yeah. So
Please.
so part of the food is we're going to have salmon spread with French bread baguettes, crackers, huckleberry drink, and coffee. The dinner will be a salmon, wild rice, blue corn muffins, Brussels sprouts, butternut squash, and salad. And then for dessert, we have a special white mush that's going to be made. So we're very excited to have this type of dinner available that's very Native inspired and traditional foods, and we believe traditional foods very important. One of the things we have at the Intertribal Friendship House is our garden, where we actually have our youth and our elders and all our community go and plant foods, traditional foods there, to another way of healing from us having generations of eating urban foods and having diseases and everything. Going back to traditional foods, very important to us. So going back to our gala, we are going to be having it on Saturday, November 9th. It's going to be from 4:30 to 8:30. Tickets are very limited. Our executive director, Carol Wapapaw, just called me and said there's a very limited number of tickets available. So it's very important if you do want to come
First
to
come,
attend.
first served.
Yes, well, actually,
Sure.
yes, yeah. So you do want to buy tickets.
Literally.
It's a $75 donation per person. If you do want to reserve a table for 8, it is $600. And this reception and dinner, we're also going to have performances and our signature auction. The auction is going to be presented by Michael Horse. And we're going to have valuable...
Excuse me, Marie. Michael Horse, well known, my relatives in Indian country, actor, sculptor, writer,
Yes.
silversmith, generations of silversmith, super personality.
Yes.
Please go on.
Oh yeah, he's very entertaining. So he's done our gala for the past couple of years. It's been really nice having him there. And then the one big thing that we're actually going to have is Tommy Orange is going to be our keynote speaker there. And Tommy Orange is the writer of the New York Times Top 10 books. They're there, and he does talk about the harsh realities of being an urban Native American, and something that's personally touched me reading his book. It's brought out so many memories, and he's going to be there, which is going to be fantastic. He's bringing some of his books available too. Tommy Orange is a member of the Cheyenne Arapaho tribes of Oklahoma, and he also won the 2019 Penn Hemingway Award. And as also as entertainment, Samantha Crane. She's Choctaw. She's also a songwriter, musician, producer, and singer from the Shawnee, Oklahoma. She's won 2 Grammy Awards in 2009 for Folk Album of the Year, Songwriter of the Year, and also won Indigenous Music Award for Best Rock Album in 2019. So we're very excited to have her aboard too. So it's going to be a very exciting event.
Well, and Marie, you mentioned limited
Yes.
space, so approximately how much seating it would be available, just to give the viewers an idea so they can call in and get their tickets now.
Sure. Our capacity is around 100, so we're pretty close to selling out, so it's best to get tickets as soon as possible. I know last year when I joined your show, we were already sold out by the time we were able to get on the air, so this time it would be really nice to...
I publicly want to put in for 2 right now.
Yeah,
okay.
We'll put you down.
Yeah, those tickets are going to be very hot.
They're going fast, so...
Okay. And of course, Tommy Orange, Bay Area, grew up in the Bay Area.
Yes,
and
right
he's
in
a young
Oakland.
man, right? Early 30s or something?
Yes.
How someone that can accumulate so much experiences and knowing people able to put it down very descript.
Yes, very inspiring, and definitely puts, that's one thing that's lacking is the experience of the urban native. And growing up in an urban setting, that's where I grew up. And the Intertribal Friendship House was somewhere where I could go and interact with other Native families. Going to my school, the only Native people there were my siblings. So having this place here really helped me stay connected to my roots. Losing my grandparents at a very early age, I didn't get to connect as much as I'd wanted to. So this place is very important to my family, my culture, my community.
All right, and my relatives, once again, that's at Oakland 523.
Yes, 523 International Boulevard in Oakland, California. If you would like to donate, we have a CrowdRise going, crowdrise.ifh 24th anniversary, where you can make a donation to the Intertribal Friendship House. We are accepting art donations too for our silent and live auctions. It's a really great community. We have many families, many different tribes walk through our door all the time. We have a Harvest Festival coming. Our website has our full calendar and all of our information on there. Really great videos of our youth program. We have our elder luncheons on Tuesdays, drum and dance every Thursday night with All Nations drums and Bad Aces. So it's really awesome community.
Really, that's terrific. I mean, that's just a small bit of information about the Intertribal Friendship House, which you certainly should make an effort. I consider it a historic site and location, and perhaps one day soon, maybe you may want to launch getting your own. Are you paying rent there? Huh?
Well,
because you know how rents go up.
Yes, and we're the very few places in Oakland where we actually own our own building. So that's very
fantastic.
Yeah. So we're rooted in Oakland, and that's one of the nice things that we have. We are able to have our own building and create our own sovereignty there.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic! And if I may take the opportunity to ask of you and my relatives to bear with us. Tell us a little bit about the program that you yourself work with, who you're employed, and.
Oh, sure. I also work at the Washoe Native TANF program in San Francisco. We do have an office in Oakland, San Jose, and in Santa Cruz. And what we do is we are temporary assistants for needy families. So families who just need extra assistance. As long as they have a Native child in their home, they qualify for our assistance.
Mm-hmm. And I'm amazed at the organization TANF, which has been around for quite some time, and it's so spread out. Can you give our listeners indications, some of these locations? We are worldwide, but for the immediate Bay Area and surrounding.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we have locations in the Bay Area, Stockton. We do have 5 in Nevada. Our headquarters is in Nevada. The Washoe tribe is our main headquarters, and that's who the organization is under. So we do help with. One of our goals is to help with families who need to, pay bills, and they need emergency assistance. If they need help with, certain requests and everything, we do provide that. We're a federally funded organization, so there's a lot of regulations, but this money is put forth there to help people who are in need.
And this is all peoples, or in particular, with an emphasis on Native Americans.
Yes, one of the main qualifiers, you have to have a Native child in the home.
As you said.
Yes, to qualify for the cash assistance.
All right. Well, thank you, Marie Hernandez, chairwoman of the Intertribal Friendship House in Oakland as well, and we'll provide our viewers with the credits on the website and where to call or write for additional information. And my relatives, it's now time. I'd like to introduce our good friend and announcer here in the program, Bismarck Delgado, with the calendar.
Hello, my relatives. This is Bismarck Delgado giving you the calendar of events for our Native American community. On this Friday, on the 29th, I believe it is, the 27th, it will be the State California recognition of California Indian Day at the state capitol from noon to 3 p.m. I believe Governor Gavin Newsom will be present, as well as many tribal singers and representatives of the California Indian nations, recognizing September as California Indian Month. So that'll be Friday, September 27th at the state capitol from noon to 3 p.m. Every Tuesday at the San Jose Roosevelt Community Center, it is the Native American Future Generations Living Through Culture, Song, and Dance. That's a dance and drum class every Tuesday from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. That's at the Roosevelt Community Center in San Jose at 901 East Santa Clara Street in San Jose, California. These classes are designed to improve and promote Native American self-esteem, self-image, intergenerational connectedness, and cultural pride. This class requires a registration, and you can contact Stephanie Gregory at area code 408-445-3400 at extension 1053. Once again, that's 901 East Santa Clara Street in San Jose, and that is every Tuesday from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And also every Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. it's the San Jose Native Youth Empowerment Program hosted by the Indian Health Center's Family Resource Center. That place is located at 25 North 14th Street, Suite 140 in San Jose, California. It's a creative space to learn about your Native American culture and make positive changes in the Native community, family, culture, higher education, and healthy living. That's every Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Native American Indian Health Center Family Resource Center, located at 25 North 14th Street in Suite 140 in San Jose, California. And also, speaking of Intertribal Friendship House, every Thursday night from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at 523 International Boulevard in Oakland, California, it's the Powwow Dance and Drum Practice, Fun, Fitness, and Friendship, and that's been going on for quite a long time. Once again, it's at the Intertribal Friendship House every Thursday night from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at 523 International Boulevard in Oakland, California. Also coming up, too, is the Indigenous Peoples Day Powwow at Berkeley. That will be on October 12th, 2019, Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The head staff will be Randy Pico and Aurora Mamea, with head lady dancer Nishoni Ellenwood, head man dancer Michael Running Wind, and that is on Saturday, October 12th, 2019, the Indigenous Peoples Day Powwow at Berkeley. That is at Martin Luther King Civic Center Park in Berkeley, California. And if you're traveling by BART, you get off at downtown Berkeley, and that is Saturday, October 12th. And one more thing concerning California Indian Day, it's also California Indian Conference from November 14th through the 16th, 2019 at Sonoma State University. If you want to call for individual papers, organizing panels, and forum discussions, your deadline is October 1st, 2019, and you can also submit proposals to the website web.sonoma.edu/NWIC/CIC papers. That is November 14th through the 16th, 2019. That is the California Indian Conference at Sonoma State University. It is the 33rd annual California Indian Conference. That is all I have for this week on this edition of Eagle and Condor. Once again, I'm Bismarck Delgado, and I'm turning it over to your guest and host today, Mr. Tony Gonzales.
Thank you, Bismarck Delgado. And my relatives, much needs to be said still of our good friend and brother incarcerated now 44 years, and that is Leonard Peltier. Be sure to go to his website at whoisleonardpeltier.info for more information. He just had his 75th birthday, September the 12th, so drop him a line. And also, as him being a political prisoner recognized internationally, so now there is another political prisoner, a woman. At this time, I'd like to introduce you to, by way of her current domicile, and that be for Miss Red Fawn Fallis, last name spelled Fallis, and write to her if you can. She's right here nearby in Dublin, California, and write to Red Fawn Fallis, and her number would be 163-58059. Once again, her number 163-58059. That's not her telephone number. That's the number for you to include in her writing to her at Unit E, that is, Federal Correctional Institution, and the number address 5701 18th Street in Dublin, California, 94568. She would really appreciate it. She's a water protector, was at Standing Rock, and look her up on that score, but write her a line. Also, my relatives, big victory here for Northern California Indians and Pitt River people and many others in that area, where the Ninth Circuit Court victoriously handed a decision to preserve sacred lands up in that area. So that would be Medicine Lake and the Highlands area. So big shout out there, my relatives. And also, don't forget, start registering to vote now if you haven't already here locally in San Francisco. November 5 are elections, right? So we have some interesting candidates, in particular district attorney. You might want to look into that, okay? Who is running for DA here in San Francisco, because we need to hold that person accountable. Many shootings have occurred for decades here, and not one policeman has been charged or held. You know, we need to change that and go for more restorative justice. Keep the juvenile centers closed, okay, my relatives? And in closing, I want to thank our good guest, Marie Hernandez, chairman of the Intertribal Friendship House, who came and told us about the 64th anniversary that will be happening on November 9th, I believe that is. Okay, for more information on tickets for that 64th anniversary, go to crowdrise.com/IFH 64th anniversary for your tickets, and which are limited, so do that immediately. That's it, my relatives. We'll see you again.
And so I say to America, I want you to remember our past. This past will give you direction for the future. Just as our people in our past, we are the spirit of the future. The spirit of this land lies rooted in the history of Native people.